Alright, good morning guys. This is the project that I've been telling you about that you can work on at home. And this project uses very simple tools. It just uses a 8.5 by 11 sheet of printer paper. And a lot of people have that at home. Might be a few of you that don't. You might be able to get some somewhere. Or you can actually just use a sheet of notebook paper. Same size as notebook paper. I don't care if it has the blue lines like notebook paper has. If it has that, it's perfectly fine. A pencil and a standard ruler. Now, of course, this is a scale, but it's what I have at home. I'm just using the, as you remember, our scales at school have the regular inch measurement, you know, the inch ruler on one side of it. So that's all I use. I use the regular inch ruler. Okay, so pencil, paper, ruler is all you need. Okay, and I'll show you how we go about using the ruler to make 1/4 inch scale in the next segment of this video. But anyway, let me go ahead and finish explaining the project. Okay, so this project, what I did is I set a constraint. Okay, a constraint of 36 wide by 26 deep. Okay, that is what the size that you need to draw this. That is really your only restraint or constraint. And then of course, other than that, then you have some requirements as far as the inside is concerned. Okay, so 36 by 26, pencil, paper, regular 12-inch ruler. Tape your paper down is recommended. Okay, and you can do this on the kitchen table, a coffee table, maybe you have a desk in your room. You may be fortunate enough to have a drawing table. And of course, as far as tools are concerned, if you happen to have tools at home, that's perfectly fine, you know, like triangles and protractors and stuff like that. But I did this with just the ruler and a pencil and paper. Now what I have created here, using that constraint of the size, which is actually just 1 inch from the edge of the paper all the way around. Okay, measured in 1 inch from the edge of the paper. That's how I set my constraints. Okay, so again, that's 36 feet by 26 feet in 1/4 inch scale. Okay, 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. Okay, just like that. Now I started with, you know, I just drew my outside footprint, you know, giving myself exterior walls, and of course I went in and created interior walls. I used a measurement of 8 feet according to 1/4 inch scale for my exterior walls. This one interior walls, 8 feet. Did I say 8 feet? Let me back up. 8 inches for the exterior walls, 6 inches for this one interior wall. Okay, and then 3 inches for these interior walls. Okay, these are a little bit thinner walls. All right, now the logic of my design has basically a living and kitchen area combined. Then I've got 2 bedrooms and then a bathroom. The furniture and everything that is in this design is, you know, smaller type furniture. This is a love seat, like a standard size love seat that you would have in your house, or at least that's what they called them when I was growing up, was a love seat. I'm not sure what they call them today. But I have just, you know, regular furniture, not a coffee table, but an end table with a lamp on it. A regular size, kind of a breakfast table. My appliances, I looked up on the internet and I found some appliances that were smaller than what you would put in a standard house, and I just really did that. I just Googled small appliances. It's the only thing I Googled. You might change that search term one way or the other to get different results, but anything around that or anything close to the words small appliances should bring you some of these small appliances. Such here's, I got a 24 by 28 inches Summit range. The Summit is the brand name, Summit range. Okay, and notice too on my annotations, I tried to keep those as neat as possible. I did not use a ruler or any kind of guides or anything for my text, so that's why it doesn't look, you know, really perfect. but it's not meant to for this project. Okay, this is kind of a project of working with the tools that you have. Next, I have a dishwasher, which is a 17-inch by 24-inch Bosch dishwasher, very small dishwasher. This is a bar sink, a typical bar sink that you would find anywhere. 20-inch by 20-inch bar sink, just a single bowl. It doesn't have the two bowls or anything like that. And this is a standard size refrigerator. Okay, the casework is all standard size casework. So you can look up, on Google, what is the standard size of casework? And you should find an answer that will tell you what you're looking for is the depth, okay? And, well, I'll go ahead and give that to you. The depth is going to be 2 feet, okay? So that's going to be your standard size casework is 2 feet from the wall to the front. And I went ahead and did the same thing for the bathroom, even though sometimes the bathroom is a little bit shorter, like maybe 20 inches instead of 2 feet. I just went ahead and went with 2 feet. Okay, the beds, I just kind of Googled the standard size of beds. I've got double beds in here. These are both 4x6. Okay, and then of course the bathroom, everything in the bathroom is standard size fixtures, with the exception of in this area here, I have a washer and dryer. That's a stack. Okay, you can find those anywhere as well, but it is a stack instead of a side-by-side. Water heater, standard size water heater with a rear entrance. Okay, of course closets, bedrooms, doors, all that kind of good stuff. I use 30-inch doors pretty much all around, 32-inch door in the front. I also have windows. Okay, windows are standard 3-foot wide windows, and got some little corner windows in the kitchen by the kitchen sink, and I have a larger window up front. Alright, this is a porch. Okay, it's going to have an overhang. You don't really see the overhang now, but it will have that. And then of course I've got my lighting fixtures. Just a real simple lighting layout. You got the switches with the light control. This is the only three-way that I have, is this one right here for the living room right there. So I can turn it on coming in the door, and I can also turn it on coming out of one of these bedrooms, this one bedroom right over here. Okay, so that's basically your challenge, is to draw this with minimal tools, using 1/4-inch scale, 36 feet by 22 feet. And I would go ahead and use 8-inch walls. You can use 6-inch walls on the inside, and you can also use these 3-inch walls. You do need at least one, I would recommend at least one 6-inch wall kind of going across like this, or maybe across like that, to give the structure some stability. And that's really it. The next segment of this video, I'm going to kind of show you how I got started drawing this, and then you can pick up from there. What I mainly want to do is show you how to do this with the limited tools that you probably have at home right now. Okay, of course everybody should have a pencil, so everybody should have a sheet of paper, and a sheet of paper doesn't have to be a typing paper like this one. I know a lot of people probably have this at home, but it can be graph paper, notebook paper, any kind of paper. Okay, what I have here is this is an 11 wide by 8.5 sheet of paper, and it's just regular typing paper, and a ruler. Of course, what I have here is a scale, but I'm going to use the ruler side of it. Okay, using the inches. Okay. All right, and that's just all I have right now. I don't have a regular ruler, but I do have a ruler on my scale. So you should have a ruler at home as well. And so let's get those three things out, and also some tape. If you have any kind of tape, no matter what kind it is, we'll use that to kind of tape our paper down and keep it in place. Okay, so here's what we'll do first, is we will tape our paper down, and I'm just using I'm using some painter's masking tape, but you can use Scotch tape, any clear tape, electrical tape, duct tape, whatever you want to use. All right, and then place this sheet of paper on your table relatively straight. Okay, and you don't have to have a drawing table, but like a dinner table, coffee table, your desk, maybe if you have a desk in your room, you want to tape all that, or tape your paper down to that. Okay, and have your paper relatively straight. Now, typically in a good scenario where we have a drawing table and we have some references that we can use, like a parallel bar and things of that nature, to where we can draw our lines straight. We also might have rectangles and protractors and everything else. Well, in this case, we don't. So we're going to just kind of freely place the paper, tape it down on the table. And as far as using our references for our straight lines, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of draw a boundary around our paper. Now that boundary is actually going to be the boundary of our cabin as well. Okay, so it's almost going to be like it is the exterior wall. And how I'm going to do that, okay, first off, okay, I'm just going to use the ruler again. All right, and understanding how scale is going to work on this ruler is that every 1/4 of an inch equals 1 foot. So we're going to use 1/4 of an inch scale. Every 1/4 of an inch equals 1 foot. And on the ruler, okay, let's turn it around this way so we're looking at it straight. Okay, hopefully you see that. Starting at 0, 1/4 of an inch is right here, this medium mark. So that is 1 foot. And go from 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 of an inch, which is a little bit longer line. Okay, that's going to be another foot. All right, going from that 1/2 inch line to the 3/4 inch line, that is yet another foot. And then from the 3/4 of an inch line to the 1 inch line, that is a whole 4 feet. Okay, so every inch is 1 foot. Every 1/4 of an inch, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Every inch is 4 feet. Every 1/4 of an inch is 1 foot. Okay, now let's understand some things about measurement as well. I'm going to put this down here and let's see if I can zoom us in just a little bit. There we go. So, how this will work. Okay, so in that space of 1 foot, you got some other little marks here. Okay, you got 1/16 of an inch marks and you've got 1/8 of an inch marks. 1/16 of an inch marks are those very small ones. So between every single mark you see on here is 1/16 of an inch. 1/16 of an inch will equal 3 inches in the scale that we are using. Every 1/8 of an inch. Every 1/8 of an inch will equal 6 inches in the scale that we are using. Okay, and then of course every 1/4 of an inch will equal 1 foot. Okay, so from here to here is 3 inches. Okay, from here again, that first line to this line, 6 inches. From here to this line right here is 1 foot. All right. Please ask if you have any questions. All right. So we'll zoom back out. And the first thing I want to do, like I said, is I want to kind of create a boundary on my paper. On my paper, I am going to kind of draw the limits of my drawing. Okay, not really a boundary, not a border, but the limits, the furthest extents that I'm able to draw. So on the west side of my paper, I'm going to draw a mark. I'm going to kind of come to the bottom, draw a mark at 1 inch. Okay, 1 inch is actually equal to 4 feet. I'm going to go up to the top of the paper. I'm going to draw 1 inch. 1 inch, again, is equal to 4 feet. Now that I have 2 lines on here, all measured evenly from the edge of the paper, means that I can create a straight line. Some people can draw straight lines without rulers. I cannot. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom and on the sides. So if you want to skip ahead and stop watching me, you can. Okay, and I'm going to mark it at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and mark it all the way around. And that's, again, 1 inch from the edge of the paper. Now I can go in and fill in all of my lines, my horizontal and my verticals. And you want to draw with light lines, lighter than what I'm drawing with. My lines are a little dark because I want you to see it on the camera. But if you draw with light lines, it's going to make your erasing a lot easier. And you're going to be doing a lot of erasing on this. Okay, so I just created the furthest extents of my, drawing, or the limits. Okay, this is going to be the west side of my house. This is going to be the east side of my house. This is going to be the south side of my house, and this is going to be the north side of my house. Okay, now, again, just a small lake cabin. And using this as my extents and my boundaries, I should be able to get straight lines everywhere in my drawing just by using these lines as my references. Okay, so these are my exterior walls. I'm going to put a porch on this. I think I'm going to go ahead and stretch the porch all the way across the front. Okay, that porch is going to be 4 feet. Okay, so again, I'm just going to draw another line. I'm going to put some marks from this front line 1 inch above. Okay, or south line. Okay, this could be the south line. So from that south line 1 inch upwards. And this is going to be porch area. Okay. All right. Now, what I want to do is I want to put some volume to my exterior walls. And of course, we have volume to those walls. There's space in between those walls where we put our 2x4s and insulation and things like that. So I'm actually going to, for the exterior walls, they're probably a little bit thicker than the interior walls. Alright, so going back to the actual drawing here, okay, this is where I drew that exterior boundary. Okay, that's the exterior part of the wall, the one that was 1 inch from the edge all around. And from there, I just filled in and, drew my wall thicknesses and everything else, for the exterior walls and went from there. So that's really, all it takes. You just have to use your ruler and keep everything within scale, and it'll come out looking proportionally correct. Of course, if you really get in there and you start trying to guess and stuff like that, you might find yourself coming up with things that are not proportional to the actual drawing. Okay, so take it from there. I want you to be creative. You don't have to draw it just like I do, but if you really think you need to draw it like mine, go right ahead. If you think you just kind of need to work through it that way. But after this, we'll have another lesson where we'll actually draw a couple of the elevations so we can see what the front and the side looks like as well. And then of course we might even get into doing some perspective on this particular structure. Okay, so again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email. You can call me on Google Voice, but of course I've learned that I'm typically not around my computer, so that sometimes it's hard. But of course, I don't think but 1 or 2 people have actually tried to use my Google Voice, but we got in contact and everything's good. So typically email. If you need me to call you, I will call you. And of course, again, you can try to call me. If I don't answer, just leave a message. Okay. All right. Well, thanks a lot. Good luck on this little project.